Alright, so in this lesson we're just going to go over the basics of our retouching tools, and we have two main types of retouching tools. We have a clone stamp and we have a healing brush tool that has some additional tools within it. So go ahead and grab an image or two and we'll go ahead and take a look at how to use these particular tools. So the first one I want to go over is our stamp tool, which can be accessed with the letter S, or you can grab it via the toolbar right here, and we can see that's our clone stamp tool. Inside we also have another tool called the pattern stamp tool. I never use this and we don't use it for retouching anyways, so we're really not going to go over that particular tool. So go ahead, grab your clone stamp tool and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. So our clone tool does basically what its name implies. It clones an area of our image to cover up another part of our image. So let's say we want to remove something from our image. In this case, I want to remove the couple. I can clone this area over the couple to remove them. And if I try and do that by clicking here or on the couple, I get a little message. Could not use the clone stamp because the area to clone has not been defined. So we have to tell Photoshop where we want to clone from. If I try and clone from the sky, then we're going to add the sky down here. So we have to find an area that is similar to the area that we want to get rid of. So we have some tall grass here and some grass down here, and it pretty much matches the area around the couple and behind them. So we have to define this area. Tell Photoshop, okay, clone from here. So how do we do that? Well, you have to hold down your Alt or Option key, and that's going to change your brush to this target icon. Now when I click with my left mouse button, that lets Photoshop know that we're going to clone from this area. Now that I've clicked in that area, when I take my mouse over the couple, we can see the content within the brush is now from the area that we defined. So now I can paint over the couple to remove them, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to click and start painting over the couple, and they will start to disappear. Now if you take a look over here to the right where we defined our cloned source from, you're going to see a little crosshair. So that's going to follow your brush based on where you clicked so that it continues cloning from areas outside of it to better match and blend in the area that you're trying to fix. Instead of adding this area down to here, it's going to add the area from over here because that's where our crosshair is right now. So that crosshair is going to follow you wherever you go on your document. The only problem is, I'm going to go back here and redo that. And if I continue holding down my mouse button, and let's say I have an area that's much larger than what I currently have, if I continue going to the left, it's going to add the couple back into our image because those pixels were originally there, and our crosshair right now to the right of the brush is where the couple used to be. So you have to be careful with the stamp tool when you have a large area to cover. So in that case, what we have to do is redefine a new target area because maybe we want to remove the tree. So I'm going to select this area now as my target, and then I can cover up the tree without adding the couple back to the image. So just keep that in mind when using the clone stamp tool. All right, I'm going to go back. And now we're going to take a look at our other retouching tools, which is located right here. So our first tool is called the Spot Healing Brush tool. And then inside we have a healing brush tool, patch tool, content aware move tool, and a red eye removal tool. So the red eye tool will remove red eye, which is caused by your on-camera flash, and you can easily remove that with this particular tool. We're not going to go over that though in this particular lesson. We're going to take a look at these four other options though, and I'm going to show you how to use them. So the Spot Healing Brush tool I love for removing blemishes. So let's take a look at that. I have an image here of a teenager with some pimples. So once we have that tool selected, we can then click on a blemish and it disappears. I can paint over an area and that blemish disappears. How cool is that? So removing blemishes is as simple as clicking and dragging or painting over an area, and those blemishes magically disappear. I love it. I love this tool. Now, what happens though if it doesn't work? Because it's not going to work 100% of the time. Well, we have another tool in our toolbox in order to help us remove the blemishes. So with this particular tool, what Photoshop is doing is it's automatically selecting another area from our image to cover that blemish. The problem is if it selects an area that doesn't work and we don't get the results we want. In that case, we can come over to our toolbar and select the healing brush tool, and then just like our stamp tool, we can define an area from which to clone from or to heal from. So hold down your Alt or Option key, click in the area that you want to target, and then Photoshop will retouch or remove that blemish based on the information that you targeted. Again, if you're not getting the results you want, you may want to check your tool options up here and select a different option to see if you get better results. All right, let's go back to this particular image again because I want to show you two more tools, and that's the Patch and Content Aware Move tool. So the Patch tool works very similar to the Clone tool, except instead of brushing on, you're going to select the subject that you want to remove, and it's going to magically remove that subject for you without painting. So I have the tool selected, and we can see the icon is different from our stamp tool. And I'm just going to draw a line around our subject to make our selection. Once I get back to the area that I started, we get our selection. And now take a look at our icon. Still have that patch tool, but if you place it on the inside of your selection, we can see there's an arrow added to it. So with this tool, we're going to move our subjects to an area that we want to clone from, and they're going to magically disappear. So click on the inside of the selection and then move to the area that you want to clone from. You can see the selection inside the left one is now filled in, and when I let go, it magically removes the couple. Again, if you're not getting the results you want, you can make some different selections in order to refine your retouching with that particular tool. All right, let's go back and take a look at the Content Aware Move tool. This one works very similar to the Patch tool, but instead of selecting our subjects, we're going to select an area that we want to clone from, and then we're going to click and move that over the subject that you want to remove. Again, not getting the results that I want, so I have to make adjustments up here. All right, so that's the basics of our retouching tools. Just like our selection tools, we need to practice with all the different tools to get a feel for how they work. So go ahead and grab a couple of your own images and practice removing objects and retouching blemishes.